All right, we're in Washington this morning after a night of celebration at the Kennedy Center Honors. Among this year's 5 winners, comedian Lily Tomlin. And since the 1960s, she's lit up the stage and screen with her humble style of humor.
I've been trying to think of something I could do now or in the next half hour that would get me on the 11 o'clock news.
Her face has launched 1,000 laughs.
One rinny-dinny.
Oh, Jeff, go to your room.
Right now.
And even when she's sharing a scene,
you are the assistant.
She's usually stealing the show.
Yell at me. That is great. That helps.
Perhaps that's because Lily Tomlin's humor has always packed an ever so gentle punch.
Mom, you look bigger.
These fake. I tell you, they get so in the way, it's unbelievable. I'm thinking of trading them in for a mid-size.
Yeah, I like the stage.
Edgy comedy was something Tomlin says she admired even as a child while watching comedians like Jean Carroll.
Jean Carroll's jokes. She'd say, "I'll never forget the first time I saw my husband standing on a hill, his hair blowing in the breeze, and he too proud to run after it." And my mother would just crack up, you know. She thought it was hilarious, and I just could sense there was something subversive about Jean Carroll in an acceptable way.
Is there something about being subversive that's at the heart of comedy?
I think in good comedy, yeah, there's always a subversive element.
The other element Tomlin discovered during childhood was the power of observation, an easy hobby for a little girl growing up in a West Detroit apartment building filled with eclectic tenants.
I would go and hang out at their apartments. I just, everybody was so interesting and funny or sad, and I saw both sides of them all the time. They could be brutal and horrible, and then they could be so tender and soft. And I was just privy to all of it.
In her early 20s, Tomlin took people watching professional. She scratched her plan of becoming a doctor for the stage.
And tell me, miss, what do you think about the pill?
Well, that's because there's a whole revolution. Because the first time I went to the doctor, I didn't want to see because I didn't want to.
Fame would come in 1970 when Tomlin joined NBC's sketch comedy show Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
Is this General Motors? Hi, General. How's everything at the Pentagon?
And America fell in love with a telephone operator named Ernestine.
Everybody hated the phone company.
Why?
Because it was a monopoly, and they had no recourse. They couldn't get a phone repaired. They couldn't get a new phone installed. When Ernestine would say, "Will you be home between April and November?" It was sort of the truth, you know.
One rinny-dinny.
Do the snort for me, yeah.
Or it's because her face is so tight.
Yes.
And it makes her talk nasally.
Why do you think so many people related to Ernestine?
I don't know. It's like, you know, I've often said that when I die, her picture will be run with my obituary.
If that's true, it's only because Ernestine was first in what seems like a never-ending canon of Tomlin's iconic characters. After Laugh-In, she was everywhere. On small screens, on big screens, on Broadway, on the cover of Time magazine, crowned the Queen of Comedy. No small feat for a feminist who refused to take on roles that demeaned women.
You would never play a role that you thought undermined women's power or women's roles or in some way was not fair.
I wouldn't want to play anything that undermined humanity. I don't want to literally stab someone. Now that makes me a weak artist in some fashion, I think.
So you've never played a role where you've murdered someone?
I can't think of anything where I've shot someone or stabbed someone or slit someone's throat.
But you almost poisoned someone in 9 to 5.
Well, I did, and I thought I did.
Because he was such a prick.
Yes, I reckon so.
Clients would rather deal with men when it comes to figures.
Oh, now we're getting at it. I lose a promotion because of some idiot prejudice. The boys in the club are threatened, and you're so intimidated by any woman that won't sit at the back of the bus.
Spare me the women's lib crap, okay?
Did you think at the time, I mean, knowing that would resonate? I mean, that film did so well. It touched so many women.
Yeah, it did, I know. No, I don't know that we did. In fact, everybody was sort of scared when it first opening weekend, then it went to #1. It was like the second highest grosser of the year or something like that.
But they were scared at the time because?
It was a woman's cast, and I think they just were leery of it. People thought it wouldn't catch on.
All of me, why not take all of me?
All of Me, one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites too.
Why?
Because it's tender, it's lyrical, but it's ribald and funny, flat out.
You'll have to do it.
I'll have to do what?
You know, take it out.
Take what out?
The Little Fireman.
So I just like it because it's a sweet movie. It has a tenderness to it, and at the same time, it's very funny and outrageous.
If all the world's a stage, how come so many people have to pay to get in?
A dichotomy that can easily be used to describe Tomlin and her body of work.
Will you be spying on me in the bathroom?
Yes.
In the bathroom?
Yes.
Why?
There's nothing too small.
Likable and laughable, all at once.
I always had an act, because I'd had an act since I was a child, that I could pull out of my back pocket, and I've always said it was my act that kept me off the match game.
Oh, God, it was so great to be with Lily Tomlin.
And still so funny.
Oh, she's so funny. And, you know, it really is Jane Wagner, her partner of 40 years. She said she didn't want to accept the Kennedy Center Awards for so long because she believes that Jane, who produced much of this stuff as her lifelong partner, deserves a lot of the credit, too. She is just as nice in person as she seems.
And Jane Wagner sat behind her last night.
Yes, absolutely. But she's absolutely brilliant, really. Great comedian. And you can see Lily Tomlin and all the recipients of the 37th Annual Kennedy Center Honors. That special airs Tuesday night, December 30th. That is at 9/8 Central, right here on CBS.